Damn, son, where'd you find this?
It is officially November the 12th, 2018. Welcome to the third down show. Excuse me for that cough. I just had to clear my throat right quick. Again, listen, I don't know if South Louisiana is pouring. I guess we're getting ready for their winter weather. They said we're supposed to have like January weather this week sometime. It's crazy, right? Listen to this, guys. A lot has happened. I think I'm just going to highlight the most. LSU this past weekend, they won against Arkansas. I'm not too impressed with them. I mean, Arkansas was, 2-7, I believe. I want to say. I'm not impressed with that at all. Also, we talk about my studs and duds of the weekend. We'll also talk about New Orleans on yesterday. And I think I want to start today. Normally, I will start with the college football. Really and truly, I'm not going to stay on LSU too long just because we don't have the college football top 25 out yet until tomorrow night. But I think this was where I'm going to start today. I'm going to start with the big trade over the weekend when it came down to Jimmy Butler. Now, you got to play the NBA music. Now, granted, this has been a great weekend for football, but I'm going to start with the association. So this past weekend, there was a trade. They did finally move on from Jimmy Butler in Minnesota. The Sixers did trade Dario Saric, Robert Covington, Jared Bayless, and a second-round pick in 2022 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Sixers received a 7-foot Justin Patton in the deal, which is expected to be finalized on today. So I want to talk a little bit about how to play the association music right quick to get y'all knowing. We're going to start with basketball this morning. I hope y'all enjoying yourself today. I want to talk about this. Now, the funny thing, one thing that I wanted to go check, how the Sixers' eyes now from Las Vegas, to start the season, they were 30-1 to win the NBA title. Now they jumped 16-1 to win the NBA title now, since they got Jimmy Butler. Now, what this does, the problem is, I was watching the Jump the other day. They were talking about the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers didn't have no shooters. I saw a clip on Twitter the other day about how bad Markelle Fultz's jump shot really is. Like, he really struggles. He was struggling at the free throw line. Like, he used so much of his upper body strength, he don't use none of his lower body. Markelle Fultz really got a long way to go before he really become that consistent player that I think that they were hoping for of being the number one draft pick in that draft. It's crazy to think that they took Markelle Fultz, who really haven't shown too much yet, when they passed on Donovan Mitchell, and they also passed on Jason Tatum in that draft as well. Kind of funny to think now, right? But let's just hope this don't come back and bite the Philadelphia 76ers down the line. Now, what I want to know about this is, we think about potential guys who could be on the floor for Philadelphia. You have Jimmy Butler, you have Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. Probably you can still throw out J.J. Redick, and maybe you can still throw Markelle Fultz. There's so much talent now than what you had on last week, especially now with shooters. Thing about Jimmy Butler, not only he can shoot, he can defend. So you're getting 2 for 1 in the deal. Is he a mega superstar in this league? I can't say that all the way yet. But do this man know how to win? I can definitely say that. I think he's around the guys with the same attitude as him. You see, the funny part about it was when he left Minnesota, I read, he said that he called Andrew Wiggins ugly as hell. Lack of a better word, I'm not going to say exactly what he said. And he said, Karl Anthony Towns, Dominican Kwame Brown. That's what he said he is. The Dominican Kwame Brown. Now, something not going on right down. Now, to be honest with you, the pieces that Minnesota got back with Saric and Covington could still be a very good team. Very good team. And Jared Bayless. A great team. They got great pieces back from Jimmy Butler. They really did. But the problem with this is, and this is my thing, is something not going good in Minnesota. Something not right with Minnesota. I mean, he is calling Karl Anthony Towns soft. Now, granted, in the playoffs, he did play soft. Now I don't know if now granted that was his first time being in a situation where he had to play longer than the 82 game season, so I understand why he was maybe out of gas. First time for everything. The lights was brighter. This is all or nothing, or you go home. Now they did take the Rockets to 5. But here's the problem with that is there was times when he was outdone with Clint Capella. Karl-Anthony Towns supposed to be a top 5 center in the game. Now, no disrespect to Clint Capella because he earned his money this past season. But I'm going to say it again. Clint Capella and Karl-Anthony Towns should not even be close on the same level. For what you can do on the offensive end, you can stretch the floor at a 5. You should not even be on the same level with Clint Capella at all. You should be taking Clint Capella to work. He didn't show up at all in the playoffs at all. So my point about this is I can see where Jimmy Butler's getting frustrated with his young cats. You would think Andrew Wiggins, who did take steps, even Kobe Bryant said before Kobe retired, he said Andrew Wiggins was, every year that he played Wiggins, he was taking steps to get better. That's something that's coming from the great Kobe Bryant, possibly the second best shooting guard of all time, right behind Michael Jordan. So he knows the game. Why have him, to be honest with you, how come we never seen how come we never seen Andrew Wiggins take that next step to being an all-star type player? Is it in his DNA? Is it meant for him to be there? Now, Jimmy Butler coming from a system, now granted, he played in Chicago, still under Tom Thibodeau, but he played in Chicago where once upon a time, he had attitude guys in his front court with Carlos Boozer and Joakim Noah. He had Mike Dunleavy and Derrick Rose at once upon a time. Come on, man. Kurt Heinrich coming off the bench. He had attitude guys. This man was in the Eastern Conference Finals at one point in time. Long, long ago. He had attitude on his team. He had swagger. I'll take that back. I don't think he was there at the time yet. He came after. But once again, he played on a team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals, who was games away from going to the NBA Finals. He played with probably the best point guard in the league at one point in time, in Derrick Rose. D. Rose having a revive of his career right now. So this man knows what it takes to win. They just not getting the job done. They not. They really not just getting the job done. I think Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins got a long way to go before they really truly successful in this game. Yeah, I think Karl starting to get the recognition because he really is very, very. To me, he's better than Andre Drummond. I find he's just because he can play both ways makes him better than a lot of people. He's better than, to me. It's just. He does so much more than some of your average centers now. You look what DeMarcus Cousins can do for you on the offensive end. He can play down low and he can stretch it to the three-point line. That's what today's NBA is all about. Same time, there's the other small details he's not doing. Now, I can't say it because I don't follow Minnesota enough. I don't watch too many Minnesota games. But obviously, Jimmy Butler is really pissed off about they not doing enough for him. So, I don't know. I don't know what's the deal. Sooner or later, I think that Minnesota just need to. I just think Minnesota's not ran the best. Unlike other places. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they can't keep superstars. I mean, Kevin Garnett, Kevin Love. Now Jimmy Butler's gone. Just that fast. Will Karl-Anthony Towns be next? Something not getting right over there in Minnesota. They just got to the playoffs last year. That should be a building block. Now they kind of back at square one, but you got solid pieces two pieces that's been in the playoff situations as well. And Sarek and Covington and Bayless. They got to help you get over now. I will leave it at that about the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't have time to sit up here and really go all into them. Let's move on. I gotta move on. I can sit up here all day and talk about them. So on that note, let's go ahead and talk about it. LSU played Arkansas this past weekend. I wasn't impressed at all. I did some research on this game more than what I should have, but I really, really took to the homework book this on last night, and I compared some things about this team that I want to see get better for next season. Now I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm very look. We have seen this before. LSU after Alabama losses, they just fall apart. They're not the same team as they were the previous games until they play Alabama. But I'm going to be honest with you, I like the energy they came out in the first quarter. They came out and they struck fast. And I liked that. They didn't let last week's game put them in a funk. They didn't. Now, here's my problem with LSU. 7 in the first. Granted, they had a fumble recovery. Then they go back and fumble the ball back. So they give up a field goal at the end of the half. So that's 14 to 3 at halftime. They scored 10 in the second. 10 in the second half. That was it in the third quarter. So that's make it 24 to 3. Arkansas scores 14 points in the fourth quarter, and that makes it 24 to 17 final score. Too close to home, if you ask me. Now this was a 2-7 football team before this game started, but they played like all in all, like they was a top 25 team. How LSU let them come back in this game? But if you ask me, the problem what I have with this is that LSU's offense is still one-dimensional. And you would think still, and it's been like this all season, and it really makes no damn sense to me, guys, is that at the end of the day, why are we still running this same type of 2008 style, maybe mid-90s offense? LSU is so behind the times. And it goes, even when you go back to the championship game with Alabama years ago, Alabama just read up after they lost in Tuscaloosa to them boys and play them boys again. They just read up and say, this is simple. We just got to play our base. And we just got to follow our jobs. We don't have to make this harder for ourselves. Let's figure it out. Sure enough, they figured it out. Football has passed, at least at the time, football was passing them by at least about 5 to 6 years. Now you're looking about 10 to 15 years as football has passed them by. So this is my biggest thing, and my biggest theory about this is I think LSU need to jump into the year of 2020 and to 2030 of offense. What I mean by that is now I'm saying that we don't need to get into 2019 offense. We need to jump ahead of the pack of everybody else who is right now, who's some of the best offensive team in the game. Because the game changed so much, so many new innovative minds comes up with so many new concepts. And you need to find that guy that's going to make this team, and also it takes recruitment as well to get the right guys to run the system that you have. But you need to find that guy that's just thinking outside of the box. I like watching them. I do like, one of my favorite coaches in the game right now, I know he's on the pro level, is Sean McVay. Because McVay just really makes it fun when you watch how fast he moves the Rams around. When Jeff Fisher was there, the Rams was nowhere close like that. But he got an innovative mind when he thinks outside of the box. He moved his players around. He moved them. So I honestly don't understand how and why LSU just can't find a coordinator to do that for them. I don't. That's all they missing, the right coordinator. You got the best defensive coordinator in the game. The best. Dave Aranda. Sooner or later, you're going to lose Dave Aranda. But I'm going to tell you what, I think it got to come soon where LSU going to have to make one final run with the man before the man actually do leave and go somewhere else. Because I think this man, sooner or later, his number going to get called for him to be a head coach somewhere. That's how good he is. I don't know. I'm very, very interested to see what's going to happen with LSU and the offense. So I pulled up some things from when Cam Cameron was there. Now, remember, I was never a biggest fan about Cam Cameron because Cam Cameron was very, if you ask me, the Baltimore Ravens didn't want him at the time. So why would LSU all of a sudden want to go sign a man who the Ravens let go and they won a championship in that same year? That didn't make sense to me. But Cam Cameron, remember, he